Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Lisa Oligus. In this edition, we look in depth at Lions Forward, a $31.5 million fundraising campaign to enrich the mission of Missouri Southern State University. Joining our conversation to get it started is Dr. Dean Van Galen, University President. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Always great to be with you.
Lions Forward, a $31.5 million campaign. Fundraising can define a president's legacy. So what did you evaluate to see if the timing was right for something like this?
Yeah, if you think about Missouri Southern, we have a wonderful history, a very student-centered culture. Our funding sources are primarily state support and tuition dollars, but philanthropy, private gifts, can really make a difference in the university's future. It can advance the university, it can transform our future, and it can provide great opportunities for people to invest in us. So given where we're at as an institution, we're moving forward, and it seemed like the perfect time to launch a large campaign.
You did do a feasibility study. What did that show you? What did that kind of entail?
So the feasibility study was a process where we had a consulting firm talk to our potential major donors and ask them, what did they think of the university? Is the time right for a campaign? What projects would they be interested in supporting, and basically at what level? So that really informed us, and the result of that was it is a good time to move forward with a fundraising campaign, and it informed our 7 priorities that become the basis of the campaign. So that was critical. It helped us make an informed decision to move forward.
There were lots of projects that came up, but you had to narrow it down a little bit. So with many departments at a university, all would like a little bit of those funds. What are the areas of emphasis in this campaign? There's like 3 things you want to really emphasize when you ask for donations.
Yeah, certainly what came of the feasibility study and what people seem to be passionate about is supporting the student experience. And that can be scholarships, it can be immersive learning opportunities for our students. They also demonstrated a strong interest in academic excellence. The core of our university is academics, the ability for our students to learn, grow, and receive a high-quality degree that they can move forward with. And then building the campus of the future. And one project that really came forward there was our new Health Science Innovation Center that we're planned. So we listened to our donors, our alumni, and they really told us this is what they want to support in our campaign.
So you have had a major donation to give a big launch to the campaign from the Gibsons. Tell us a little bit about that and how it will support a master's degree program, correct?
Yes, a really transformational gift. Bill and Tracy Gibson are longtime supporters of Missouri Southern, both graduates. Bill is a member of our Board of Governors, so they've been connected and passionate about Missouri Southern for a long time. A few weeks ago, we were able to announce a major leadership gift from Bill and Tracy Gibson of $1 million. They also are serving as co-chairs of the campaign, and with that $1 million, they have decided to designate half of those funds to help us launch a new degree program, a master's in data analytics. Very excited about that, and I'm very grateful for our provost, Dr. Toms, and the faculty who developed this program. It's very innovative. There's a huge demand for individuals with that type of expertise in data analytics, huge student demand. And the Gibson gift will help us launch that program, pay for faculty, pay for us to get it up and running, and then once it grows, it will be self-sustaining.
So something like data analytics, I mean, computers are everywhere. Computers create data. It's a much growing field. So do you think that also then results in recruitment for our university?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a unique program with a huge market, if you will, for prospective students and for employers. Data analytics touches certainly the business world, the use of data to inform and make decisions, to make predictions, and then also areas such as agriculture, health science. Almost everything we touch today is impacted by data and our ability to analyze it and use it to make good decisions.
So you mentioned the Health Sciences Innovation Center, and there has been a big contribution from the city of Joplin. Explain how that works in those funds.
Yes, so the Health Science Innovation Center is a major capital project that we're planning, supported partially by the state, but we've been challenged to come up with $15 million to match the $15 million from the state. We recently had a wonderful commitment from the city of Joplin. They voted unanimously to use $1.5 million of their ARPA funds to support the project. And so those funds will be transferred to the university to help with that $15 million match. So
For those who might not understand, what are ARPA funds?
they're funds that come through the federal government, basically COVID funds that were pushed out to states and communities, and those funds were pushed out to the city of Joplin. So they had a decision to make of how best to invest those funds. I think they recognize that this facility, Health Science Innovation Center, it's not just about the university. It's building a important economic sector for Joplin. If you think about our region, we have Freeman, Mercy, Kansas City University, Medical School, Dental School, Crowder, and Missouri Southern with our significant strengths in health science. So I think they understood that investing in this facility is going to have longer-term huge impacts for our entire community.
And do you think that kind of rounds out the other health-related fields that we offer, because we have a good nursing program and other programs like that?
Yeah, exactly. And that facility will help us expand our nursing program, hopefully double in size. And as you mentioned, we have a number of really high-quality, excellent health science-related programs. Dental hygiene, certainly a program that is strong and known by many in this region. So that facility and that support from the city and our partners will help us grow in that area.
So what is the timeline for the construction of this building, and how much time do we have to raise that $15 million?
So with the ARPA funds, the funds need to be expended by 2026, but we have already started a process. Recently, our Board of Governors approved moving forward with a request for qualifications to hire an architect. So that step then is to design the facility, make sure we have a good idea of the costs, and then we will engage a construction firm. Our plan, and it looks very doable, is to open for the fall of 2025. So we're really excited about it and look into the future.
So as you embark on this big campaign, what would you say is the overarching goal that you would want to tell everyone as to why they should invest in Lions Forward?
You know, I think it is about transforming Missouri Southern and investing most of all in our students. You know, in the end, our why is always our students. And this campaign will help us provide great opportunities for those students, help them afford a high quality Missouri Southern education, support our academic programs, and enhance our campus. So it really is not about next week or next month. It is about our universities and our region's future.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Van Galen.
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, just ahead, we break down those 7 projects and how they will be a benefit to students, the campus, and the community.
Today to celebrate a truly transformational leadership gift to the Lions Forward fundraising campaign.
A $1 million boost from Dr. Bob and Dot Wilcoxon in March of 2023 that leaders say will move health science programs forward into the future. Their $1 million gift to the Missouri Southern Foundation will support 3 important initiatives. 1, the Health Science Innovation Center building.
It's an amazing opportunity for students who are wanting immersive learning opportunities to be able to take what they're learning in the classroom, to be hands-on and having that experience so that when they do eventually go to medical school, they have a leg up on some other students.
2, the Wilcoxon Innovation and Health Sciences Summit.
It will bring in a nationally acclaimed speaker and really engage the entire community.
And the 3rd initiative, a Student Scholars Program supporting undergraduate research.
Hands-on projects of those students working with our faculty.
And the Wilcoxons say it takes all of us working together to do something great. Welcome back to Newsmakers. At the heart of the Lions Forward campaign are 7 projects, and joining us to talk about each of those is Executive Vice President Dr. Brad Hudson. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So before we get into the 7 projects, let's take a look at the name Lions Forward. What went into that in naming this campaign?
Well, we did put a great deal of thought into the campaign brand as we were envisioning this project, and Lions Forward gives a sense of momentum, of forward progress, of excitement for the institution, and that really encompasses those 7 projects. They are all individually and collectively very exciting, and they show forward progress for the institution.
All right, so let's go through them one by one, if you will, and explain their focus. We start with academic excellence.
Well, certainly the heart of the institution is its academic programs, and so investing in those, whether it be existing academic programs or new programs, as we discussed earlier with the data analytics, we want donors to understand they can create endowed or expendable funds to benefit each of our academic programs. And so we're out talking to donors about how their endowed professorships can help us recruit and retain the best faculty, how their investments in the programs themselves can help with equipment, travel, research. There are a variety of ways philanthropic gifts can enhance our academic offerings.
And that one is you're seeking to raise $5 million,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
All right. So Missouri Southern has a history of hands-on learning. That's true at KGCS TV with
That's
our
right.
students running cameras. But it also is something we want to expand even more so. So how much are you seeking for immersive learning, and how will that be utilized?
Well, immersive learning opportunities are embedded in every program at the institution. So, for example, we just had a donor provide funding for a virtual reality lab for nursing, which is very exciting. Watching the students use those tools to enhance their educational experiences is very exciting for the donor and for the students. And so there are a variety of those across campus. We also consider international travel, our Global Leaders program. Opportunities such as that to be immersive in nature, because it's getting you out of the classroom, it's getting you out into the world to experience things you wouldn't experience otherwise. And then there are also opportunities like our Angel Investor Fund, where we were looking for a donor to set up a fund that will facilitate the creation of small businesses. Our students have great ideas for how to launch their own business, they just need a little funding. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
So lots of opportunities there, and you can really
Right.
put your money to something that you are passionate about as a
Absolutely.
donor.
Either a new immersive learning opportunity or an existing one. You know, we have the cadaver lab, the simulation hospital. We've got all kinds of immersive learning opportunities on campus already.
So a big goal is for student scholarships, $10 million. Why that amount? How will that make a big difference in recruiting students?
Well, certainly we still serve a great number of first-generation college students. We serve a great number of students who have financial need, and so philanthropic scholarships do provide a pathway to higher education for many of our students. We currently, the Missouri Southern Foundation awards about $1 million, just over $1 million, in private scholarships each year. A $10 million bump in that fund would allow us to give out $400,000 more each year in scholarships, so that would be a 40% increase in what we're doing right now. There's an insatiable need for those funds among students, and we want to meet that need as fully as possible.
Do scholarships play a big role in growing a university?
Well, certainly, because students have a desire to pursue higher education. They have the academic ability to pursue higher education. Oftentimes the finances are the last impediment. And so doing what we can to close that gap and allow more students to pursue higher education at Missouri Southern is a primary goal of the Missouri Southern Foundation and this campaign.
One of the projects is athletic excellence. So tell us about that. I mean, we're not building a building necessarily, but what does it mean?
Well, it's not only an investment in the athletic programs, the sports themselves, their travel needs, their equipment needs, which are ongoing, but also in student support services. If you talk to a student athlete, their day is very long and very busy. Not only are they students with a full course load, but they're also practicing, traveling, competing, and the support services that wrap around those students and help make them successful on the field and in the classroom are extensive. And so private investment in those support services is also critical for their success as students and as athletes.
All right. So now, another on the list, we've talked a little bit about the Health Science Innovation Center. So tell us, explain the state's role in building this and how that works out as a match situation.
So Governor Parson early in 2022 asked each institution to identify a transformational project, and Missouri Southern identified the Health Science Innovation Center. And going through the legislative process with the General Assembly and the governor, we were able to secure $15 million from the state if we raise $15 million in matching funds, and that's a component of this campaign.
So when we look at our pamphlets, though, it says we're trying to raise $9 million. Why not put the whole $15 million out there?
Well, because there are many different types of funding that can be matched. And so certainly philanthropic dollars, the $9 million, are eligible for matching by the state, but also contractual funds, governmental grants. The grant from the city of Joplin is phenomenal, $1.5 million.
Yes.
It is not technically philanthropic, and so it won't count towards the campaign, but it does count towards the match.
You bet. All right. So where are we planning to build this Health Sciences Innovation Center?
Well, if you envision the oval, the heart of our campus, you have Hearns Hall. We're in Spiva Library right now, Reynolds Hall next to it, and then Billingsley. And if you just continue on around, it would sit on top of the roadway that runs from Billingsley Student Center to Webster Hall. And it would, in essence, complete the oval. It would provide a more intimate space, a more pedestrian-friendly space on the campus, but it would sit at the heart of Missouri Southern.
Excellent. So tell us about changes planned for the Student Success Center. This is a big part of the campaign when it comes to making sure students have access to the things they need.
Students need a lot of support services to be successful. Whether you're academically gifted or academically challenged a particular semester, you need a lot of support services to make it through a four-year degree program. That includes academic advising, tutoring, career services, first-year experience. All those services exist, but they're not located in one convenient, visible location. And so the goal of the campaign is really to provide a one-stop shop, a home in a highly visible location where a student that needs those services would almost have to trip over them and not be able to ignore them. Right now we have them, they're just tucked away in offices across campus. We want to bring them together in one central location.
And have we decided where that will be located?
We have not yet, and that's part of the evolving nature of the campaign. As funds are identified and the scope of that Student Success Center is finalized, we'll know better what would be the ideal location.
All right. And Billingsley Activity Center. Now, Billingsley Student Center is a big place, but you yourself are an alum, and you have memories of it looking a lot different on the first floor in the past, and it's going to transform.
It's a little
In what way?
nostalgic because when I was a student at Missouri Southern, the bottom floor of Billingsley Student Center was the campus hub. If you had an hour between classes, that's where you went and hung out with your friends and played pool, got a bite to eat, studied, listened to music. And during the renovations in 2000, that space was repurposed, and it's underutilized at this point. And so the opportunity to bring it back to its former glory as a place where commuter students and residential students would gather and get to know each other, have a central hub, is very exciting.
Kind of just a hangout.
Just a hangout space, yeah.
Because we have the recreation center upstairs. There's a place to exercise, but this would be more casual.
More casual and a place to get a hamburger and a place to again have a poetry night or an impromptu music night or an activity like a comedian. You can do a lot of things in a space if it's well designed, and we're looking forward to bringing that vibrancy back to Billingsley Student Center.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Hodson. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, thank you.
And when we come back, we'll be talking with a campaign donor. As we go to break, we'll hear from students who share why donations to scholarships make a big difference.
Well, I've received a couple of different scholarships, the Dan Hayworth Memorial Scholarship, the Carolyn Anderson Memorial Scholarship, which is for women in accounting, and the BKD Scholarship, which also is for accounting. And I grew up poor, so I never thought I'd be able to go to school. So having that financial backing, solidified me coming to Missouri Southern, but also it gives me incentive to do better because I have support and I have somebody believing in me.
Growing up playing sports, I always wanted to play sports, but one of the big things going to college is money and trying to pay for all these things like classes and books and living. It's a lot, and so receiving scholarships for athletics and for academics was huge, but then also the foundation scholarships that I received played a huge role, just knowing that not only am I being supported from the school, but also from the community. Putting money into my experience has really, it's made a huge impact in my experience here at Southern.
If it wasn't for having scholarships, there'd be no way I'd be attending college. Being a first-generation student, working full-time and living off campus, there's a lot of financial need there. So without having scholarships, I wouldn't be attending, and I also probably wouldn't be able to be a hireable employee someday without that valuable education.
Being from San Diego, I obviously have the out-of-state tuition, and the cost of having to move here is a lot, and so receiving these scholarships made it so I didn't have to worry about not being able to be funded while I'm here. I didn't have to worry about needing to go back home and living with my parents and not going to a school that offers the same opportunities that Southern does. I was able to be here and make all sorts of new connections and to get to go to these study abroads and meet all these people and intern with amazing people. I've been able to really just grow on my own rather than living at home and kind of being under my parents' watch all the time.
When I was in high school, I wasn't able to, do extracurriculars. I had to work and help my mom pay bills. So coming here and having the opportunity I was secretary and president of the accounting club at one point, and then being able to volunteer with the Lion Ambassadors. I've been able to volunteer in 2 other groups off campus, but they were linked to me through the campus, through the community days. It means, everything. And I say this all the time, I recommend Missouri Southern wholeheartedly. It's good for on your wallet, but also I really love my teachers as well. So it's just been a positive experience overall.
I don't see the value in spending thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars attending a larger university. You can get the same degree with the same level of education here at Missouri Southern.
I am very passionate about Missouri Southern. I didn't ever expect that in my life, and I just wish that anybody that doubts themselves in going to school, if they're unsure, they should reach out to somebody on campus. One of the programs that I got to volunteer with was teaching financial responsibility to teens at a church here, and that was through the accounting club. And I think that helped make a difference, and if I could just have that little opportunity at Missouri Southern, maybe there'll be another kid like me one day that, I can do this.
A lot of us first-gen students have a very particular reflection, or they have a particular ability to give feedback on this question. I would absolutely recommend coming here to any, especially first-generation student or any non-traditional student. My father was just accepted into the adult degree completion program after not attending school in 37 years. So this is his chance to do it. We might not graduate at the same time or have classes together, but he'll be able to achieve a lifetime dream, and that wouldn't be possible without the work of a dedicated staff, board of governors, and all those people who help plan, fundraise that sort of program. It really does not only just change the life of one student, but the life of their whole family.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. As a state-supported institution, Missouri Southern State University, like many other schools, still always has a need for charitable donations. Joining us to talk about that avenue of support is alum Brian Valls. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa. It's great to be here.
So you are getting behind the Lions Forward campaign personally and even involving your business. Why is it important to support the university for you?
So, Lisa, I think it's paying it forward. Both my wife and I went here. We had a great experience, both in the classroom, outside the classroom, and it was really an opportunity to give back to students. So that's why we're excited about it.
We often hear about government leaders talking about spending on education, but even like the Pell Grant, which helped me go to college, didn't keep up with inflation. Why is it so important for our communities to support an institution like this?
Oh, I think it's critical. I mean, you see so many people, first-generation students coming in, that without private support may not be able to go. My wife and I have been involved with the single parent scholarship program, and we've seen a number of single parents that needed that private support to go. And what's great about it, once you have that support and you know that the public's behind you, you blossom, not just financially as far as being help, but that experience and having confidence in yourself. So I think it's absolutely critical.
So tell us why you think maybe this can be also beneficial for the community as a whole. Why does supporting a local university make a difference for the community?
Great question. And I think a lot of us think of it just as an educational center. It's a cultural center. Missouri Southern is from theater production to sporting events to educational opportunities to different countries that we focus on every year, an opportunity to learn and grow, whether you're 18 years old or you're 88 years old. So I think it's a critical part of this community, Missouri Southern, and I think it's important that we get behind it.
As someone who is a donor, does it take a lot to sort of say, oh, I want to get my business on board as well, or the company I work for? Tell us about that process.
Yeah, so myself, my partner Troy Stovern, we both are graduates here, so it was an easy decision for us. But I think as a business, you look about return on investment. and investing back into the local university, and more importantly, as Dr. Van Galen said, the students. You're investing in their lives. Those are our future employees. Those are our future community leaders. I think it's a great return on investment. In our world, that's the world I'm in, is investment. Return on investment is getting back more than what you put in. And investing in this next generation, I don't think gives you much better return than that.
We've often heard in many communities about bright flight, where students might leave the community. Do you think having something like this, having scholarships, can keep some of our bright and the best here in town and then working in the community?
Absolutely. I think once you see students fall in love with the university, the community because of that, they want to stay around. So I think there's an opportunity with having an educational institution, a good quality like Missouri Southern, it keeps people here.
You said you've supported single parent scholarships. Is it nice to be able to say, hey, this is where I want my money to go?
Yeah, and that's a great point, because as a donor, you can choose whether it is towards an academic excellence, an area, or single parents, or global leaders. You get to make that choice. And so whatever that is that provides you fulfillment, you can invest. And so what you see is, for example, us with single parents, you get to see a little bit of lives being changed, that confidence growing. And I think that's what, for any area of scholarships, you see young people just become young adults and embrace and experiences in life that they can bring back to others and back to the community. And it's just fun being a part of that.
Have you been able to meet some of your recipients?
We have, through Missouri Southern and others, and just great young individuals. And I think, we sometimes get distracted by the next generation, and every generation does that, right? But then you take time to meet students and you see that fire in their eyes, that excitement about taking on the world, and it renews that and rekindles that faith that this next generation is going to do amazing things.
All right, well, that's wonderfully said. If there's something else you would want to say to potential donors out there, what would you say to them about contributing to a local university?
Yeah, I think it's, once again, I know my theme, once again, investment, but return on investment. Investing in the other people around you and young students coming through today is an amazing return on investment. Whether it's $1 million like the campaign we talked about earlier in the segment, or if it's, $500 to get started, I would say investing in others provides a great sense of fulfillment in life.
And every dollar, big or small, can make a difference.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Brian Voss, thank you very much for your contributions and joining us today on Newsmakers.
Thank you, Lisa.
And if you would like to contribute to the Lions Forward campaign, you can do so online at www.mssu.edu/giving, or by mail at Missouri Southern Foundation, 3950 East Newman Road, Joplin, Missouri 64801, or by phone at 417-625-3039. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Newsmakers. Until next time, I'm Lisa Alligas.